Coming up now on Animal Outtakes, we visit a sanctuary where the horses are given the chance to live like the horses they were meant to be. See how love, compassion, and kindness can go a very long way. And they may look cute and cuddly, but we're finding out why this sanctuary says it's never a good idea to have a raccoon as a pet. And later in the show, a session with our resident vet with some interesting information about stem cells.
Stem cells have been very successful in treating horses, been moderately successful in treating dogs and cats.
This and much more straight ahead on Animal Outtakes. Natural horsemanship serves as the foundation at the 16 Hands Horse Sanctuary in Ona, Florida. Their mission is to treat horses in the most humane and natural way. It's a lifetime sanctuary that provides a future to horses who've been abandoned, abused, or unwanted. And as you'll see, it's a serene place where each personality, or horsenality as they call it, is given what it needs to live out life in peace.
These are 6 of the horses that we rescued this year. They came from 5 different homes. Butterscotch is a 25-year-old Palomino quarter horse. He has a condition in his hind legs that causes him to not be rideable. He's got really thin soles, so his front feet are touchy, so we're changing his diet. He has another condition called Cushing's, which is a pituitary problem. So he's on medication for that. He gets special diet, he gets special trimming, and that's what our donations pay for, is that big, beautiful, golden, sweet horse. And then Ella, I had a young woman calling me crying because she couldn't take care of her anymore. It was just too labor intensive for her. Ella's an off-the-track thoroughbred. She's our biggest horse. She's 18 hands.
I was going to say, my goodness, she's big.
She's very sweet. And she has chronic cellulitis in her rear leg there. So as a racehorse, she most likely has ulcers, which makes it hard for her to keep weight on. So we're working on her weight gain. It fluctuates. If she gets stressed at all, she's like, it just falls off of her. So, and a lot of people say, why don't you put that horse down? You can't use her for anything. You know, if she's not in pain and she's happy living a horse life, and we can do it, we're going to keep her alive and happy. When I started it, there was a huge need. The economy was bad. That was in 2007. We're on our 15th year, by the way. Yay.
Congratulations.
Yeah. And we're kind of seeing that again now because the inflation and stuff, so it's kind of the same situation 15 years later. And I just have a love of horses. I have since I was young, and couldn't have one until I was like 32. so
you had to wait until you grew up.
Yeah,
huh?
Exactly. So yeah, I named her because she's a spicy little pony. I named her Chili Pepper. She came from another, she's like, pet me. She came from another rescue. They don't actively rescue horses and keep them, but they get them out of dangerous situations and rehome them. And she was the product of a backyard breeder, and the gentleman was older and his wife developed Alzheimer's and he could not care for the horses. So, so Chili Pepper and her stallion buddy were rescued, and they have since rehomed him, I believe. She came in with a broken tooth, so we had to get that extracted. She developed an eye ulcer, so she was in a treatment for her eye for a week and a half. But other than that, she's like, she eats. She's very confident. You can do anything around her or with her. She loves food. Food is her motivating factor, and she's just a little thing too. She's cute. And she's an Appaloosa.
What is the average cost of keeping a horse a year?
Well, that is probably $2,000 to $3,000, just basic food, hay, deworming. That's not counting vet care. Our vet bills have gone up like 4 times what they normally are because everything's gone up so high. So it's, if you have a horse with any kind of issues, and they all develop it eventually, it can be $4,000 or $5,000 for one vet bill because of the cost of the diagnostics and the medicine and, you know, just every little thing that the vet has to do. Segan was a high-level dressage horse, highly bred, big bucks, but he was used a little bit too much. He broke a bone in his foot.
Well, that wasn't very good.
Yeah.
No.
He's very fancy, and he's very sweet, but he's kind of, he's also kind of shut down in his own way because he just kind of pushes through pressure rather than, you know, doesn't respond to people. He loves people. But we had to do a special procedure for his feet so that he could walk comfortably, which was,
You have footsie problems too.
yeah, he broke the navicular bone in one of his feet. So he had a block in the area so that he could walk and help heal those structures in there so he could hopefully live a pain-free life without that process. And that was close to $1,000 for that.
How many horses do you have here right now?
Too many.
We have 38 horses that we are responsible for. There's 5 in foster care, so they're at different properties, and then the rest of them are here.
What is it that you hope to teach the average person who comes to 16 Hands? What are they looking for, and what can you help them to find?
It's our main purpose is to educate people after we rescue the horses, is to educate people that they're a lifetime commitment, just like a dog or a cat or, you know, a cheetah, if that's what you get.
But the average life of a horse is much greater than a dog,
yeah,
correct?
they can. We have one that's 35 now, so you know, they can live into their 40s. I think the oldest one was 62 or something like that. Yeah, they live a lot longer. They take a lot more space. You can't keep them in your house, and, you know, on your bed or whatever, like you do your dog or cat. Lily's 14, Asia's 10, and they are both adoptable. Ready to go on to their forever home. We got an adoption application on her yesterday, so hopefully. You know, I have to make sure that if they are not going to be trainable in the future, what are you going to do with the horse? You know, are you going to give up on her in 6 months and send her back here? Because they have a lifetime home here. If they don't work out somewhere, they come back here first. Our horses, they come in and eat their breakfast with, you know, vitamins, minerals, grain if they need it, that kind of thing. And then they go out for the day and eat hay, which they're designed to do, is to forage all day long.
Live a natural life.
Yeah, as natural as we can provide in you know, in captivity, basically.
We have an adjacent property that we want to develop, put up a medical building, those sorts of things. So, you know, always need sponsors, volunteers, and donations. You know, that's,
Well, I think that
you know how that is.
Yes, that's the mantra of all of us who have a 501c3. We should just print them. So what do you see for the future of 16 Hands?
Well, I would like to continue doing what we're doing, you know, just being able to rescue horses in need. I've kind of changed the model because we started out as a sanctuary only, and now we're adopting horses. So, and it used to be they had to be like starving or, you know, on death's door before we would take them. But now I've come to realize that even if they look healthy and beautiful and pretty, you know, right now, if the people are struggling, they're going to end up in a bad situation. So this past year, we've taken in 14 horses. Several of them are ready to be adopted right now. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them, except they haven't been trained to ride, which could be a problem. But they're not untrainable. They're not physically, you know, they don't physically have a problem. Some of them also have emotional issues. You know, they, like some of your dogs and cats and stuff that don't get the proper training or don't get the proper socialization, or get too much training or too intense training that they're not ready for and their personality doesn't do. Because he was pretty shut down when he came here, and now he's like engaging with us.
Sweetheart.
And that's pretty nice. Hi, buddy.
Hi.
Mr. Butterscotch. This is Haley. She was one of our first rescues. She's going to be 36 in January. And she has cancer in her left eye, so she's on daily medication. But she's doing good. Her body's kind of looking awkward, but she comes in and eats twice a day, and she has her companion Bandit over there, and it's amazing. Some of them get taller. It's like they're all shut down and oh my God, don't look at me kind of thing, and then you see them just decompress and turn into the horses that they were meant to be. That guy right there, he was going to be put down because he wasn't trainable in the normal sense of trainable. People were trying to do the normal training, and he would just shut down and not do anything, and they're like, we can't. He went to 3 different trainers, and the last one said, just put him down. We can't do it. So he was untrained, and he had health issues.
Look how wild he is now.
And he is. You go out in the pasture, and he's in your back pocket. He just loves people. So he was just misunderstood. Just seeing the changes in them and the fact that they're all happy and as healthy as we can get them, as healthy as they can be, and that we're able to do that for them. Yeah, and then there's some that never really 100% trust, like this little girl right here. You see her tail. I don't know if you noticed her tail, but it's matted, and she's feral. She's wild. She's like, I think 14 years old. She comes in, hangs in her stall. So we can't touch her, we can't trim her feet. So she's just being allowed to be a wild horse here. Hey, Charlie. Horses just do something to the inside of a person that, there's just something about them and it heals people. Our volunteers come here to get away from their job, to get away from their stress in their life and they just, be with the horses.
For information on how you can help this sanctuary further its work, you can go to 16handshorsesanctuary.org. You can also follow them on social media to keep up with their stories. Coming up next on Animal Outtakes, looks can be deceiving. Despite their cute and cuddly mannerisms, these animals prove difficult as pets. We visit a sanctuary who explains why they are a problem in captivity. That's next.
Every dolphin at Clearwater Marine Aquarium has an amazing tale. They're all rescues who have overcome challenges to survive and thrive. You'll be inspired by every animal story and unforgettable moments with them, including 2-year-old Apollo, our newest rescued dolphin. There's something inspirational for every kid, and kid at heart. Your visit directly supports the animal care and rescue efforts at Clearwater Marine Aquarium, celebrating 50 years of amazing tales.
Did you know that Moat is leading the charge to fight Florida red tide by testing compounds that may lessen its harmful effects on the environment? The more you know about everything Moat's doing to help our oceans, the more you'll understand why Moat matters. Visit moat.org today.
Good morning, Mr. Benson. Your breakfast is served.
Time for another day in doggy paradise. I sure am one lucky pup.
Mr. Benson, would you like to go out for your morning stroll? The weather is quite lovely today.
That sounds wonderful. Don't mind if I do. After all that exercise, I think I'd like to lounge by the pool and maybe dip my paws in.
As you wish, sir. Right this way.
Ah, what a perfect day. I couldn't imagine being anywhere else but Dante's den while Mom and Dad are away.
At Dante's Den, we pride ourselves in providing the best experience for your beloved pup. Whether it be a day, a month, or a year, Dante's Den should always be at the top of your list for boarding. With an expansive campus, your dog will enjoy daily walks, pool time, and an endless supply of love. Even better, it's all under 24/7 supervision from our wonderful staff. If you're anything like us, your dog's safety and happiness come first. To learn more about Dante's Den, visit dantesden.org.
Welcome back. A raccoon can seem like an adorable animal at times, but these animals can cause quite a bit of destruction thanks to their flexible digits and curious nature. Owning one in Florida requires a Class 3 wildlife license. We recently visited the Second Chance Ranch and Rescue, where its founder explained why these do not make good pets. She's taken in some as owner surrenders and says that they're completely unpredictable in nature, especially as they mature.
These are our raccoons. So these are all domestically born raccoons that were owner give-ups. We've got a brother and sister named Cheeto and Oreo that are still young, and then we've got Remy that was 2.5 years old when she was given to the rescue. Like I said, all domestically born. These are not wild. These are not wild caught raccoons. Come on, friends, hi. Come on, babies. So Remy actually a little overweight. She's lost weight. She's half of her size. So Remy came in. Hi, dear buddy. You want that? Oh, you guys don't like popcorn. That's amazing. What about your food? They're like, no, where's the good stuff, Mom? We don't like popcorn. They're a little bit snobby. So Remy, since she's been in with these two, they've been running and playing and chasing each other, and so she's been working out every day. Do you not like that?
Why would you tell people not to have raccoons as pets?
Absolutely do not ever have raccoons as pets. First of all, if you get a wild raccoon that you find, it's against the law. It's a felony. You cannot raise a raccoon from the wild. You have to have a special rehab permit. I don't even have that permit. I have my Class 3 permit to have domestic animals that were born domestic. These guys reach sexual maturity about 6 months, and they get nasty, super, super, super nasty. So this brother and sister, they're gonna be nasty, and they're gonna be nasty for a while. Remy is already out of her nastiness. Her owner went through that, thank goodness. But yeah, no, you don't want to keep them, and oh, they're super cute. Even these guys were purchased as an exotic pet. And you see they're here because they're already starting their sexual maturity, which Cheeto will be removed from the enclosure at that point. So, but yeah, so they came in as a pair. Oh, what do you think, my love? What do you think? I'm not eating anything. Oh, there we go, my love. There we go. So raccoons eat everything with their paws. Oh, everything they do is in their water. I literally changed that like 20 minutes ago and it's already dirty. But yeah, they wash their food to eat it. So they do everything in the water. She's such a good girl. Oh, are you posing? What do you think? We couldn't touch her for the first month.
Oh,
like, hey, what are you doing? So these guys look super cute and cuddly, but they aren't always cute and cuddly. I've been bit many times. Huh? What do you think? What do you think? Be nice, Cheeto. Be nice.
For more information about the work the Second Chance Ranch and Rescue does, you can follow them on social media. Stick around, there's more animal outtakes after the break.
When stem cells were first discovered, it was actually somewhat accidental. At Harvard, they were doing bone marrow biopsies on cancer patients and growing the bone marrow on tissue culture to see what kind of cells they could grow. And one of the technicians was washing a glass petri dish and noticed some of the cells sticking to the glass. And so that's how we discovered stem cells in the 1990s. They had the wherewithal to think, why are those cells different? So that was kind of a gift from God that we discovered them in that manner. So once they were discovered, we thought, wow, stem cells we know respond to their local environment. So we should be able just to put them where we need them and they will get the chemical messages from their local environment and start healing. So to a certain extent, that's true, but we also found that a lot of those chemical messages are contained in platelets. And so that's why a lot of the stem cell therapies, particularly going into joints, you combine that with platelet-rich plasma, inject that at the same time, and those are little chemical packets that tell the stem cells to start differentiating into the tissues that are needed there and to heal things. So far and away, the most successful thing that we've had in veterinary medicine has been for arthritis. However, it has not been a cure. It's a treatment for arthritis, but not a cure. And very often you need multiple injections, sometimes a year or two later. So once they harvest the stem cells, usually do it by getting a fat sample. Fat's the simplest because all you have to do is break up the fat, put it in a centrifuge and spin it, and the fat cells float and the rest of the cells sink. And about half the cells at the bottom are in fact stem cells. So they are in fact very easy to find and collect throughout the body. Probably the biggest disappointment that we thought that with diabetics, if we showered their pancreas with stem cells, they would get that message in the local environment and differentiate and start producing insulin and cure diabetes. That didn't work. And we come to find out that we thought in the past that our immune system just wiped out those beta cells and destroyed them and be easy enough to just replace them with stem cells. It turns out that in a large percentage of diabetics, they have de-differentiated back into stem cells. So that's why putting more stem cells in there doesn't work. What we needed to find out are the chemical messages that those stem cells needed to differentiate back into beta cells and start working again. So that's kind of the holy grail of diabetic research right now. But for veterinary medicine, so far, it's been pretty much limited to treating ligament injuries, joint injuries, big wounds. There's a whole list of about 70 different approved therapies for human use, all of which are adult stem cells. Embryonic stem cells tend to form tumors. They're too immature. They are designed to produce every tissue that your body needs, whereas adult stem cells are kind of deprogrammed to produce all these other different tissues. So your own stem cells are the best. Right now, the holy grail for the drug companies in veterinary medicine are allogeneic stem cells, which are taken from a universal donor and then put in so it's off the shelf. You don't have to harvest stem cells first. I would still be concerned about it's a tissue graft, basically. I'd be worried about organ rejection. And you can have very, very severe reactions if your body does not like those cells that you got. So my personal advice would be to stick with your own stem cells, human or animal. Very easy to harvest it from fat and go from there. But
We
it's a
know
Wild West right now. We really don't know what therapies are going to work, what therapies aren't going to work. But we know for sure for joints, they're pretty successful, but not a cure. But who knows what the future holds? Dogs have been primarily dogs and horses. Horses have a hard time healing from ligamentous damage. So stem cells have been very successful in treating horses, been moderately successful in treating dogs and cats. Other species, frankly, nobody has a lot of interest in doing it because it's not commercially viable from the outset. So the exotic species, they're going to lag behind. And a lot of it's going to be based on very, very low numbers of cases. So be tough for them.
we'll be right back.
Animal Outtakes is produced by Dante's Den Foundation, a nonprofit group dedicated to creating the best life for dogs. If you would like to learn more about Dante's Den, donate, or volunteer, visit our website, dantesden.org.
We hope you had fun and learned a thing or two along the way. We'll be back here again next week with even more animals and some wild adventures. Until then, thanks for watching.
He's like,
How about his gosh?
am I on TV? Do you have a cookie? Is actually what he was saying. Oh, what a doll. And he's like, I'm not talking to you guys at all.
I didn't get a whole lot of attention over here, so the heck with you.
Now you know why everybody loves Asia.
I can see that.
You're gonna have a video full of noses.